Hello, you're watching News Mongolia on MNB World, and I'm your host, Ulaanbaatar. On the News Mongolia today, Mongolia's foreign currency reserves reach historic levels. The binding material for coal briquettes will be replaced, and some households will transition to use gas as fuel. A total of 1,541 children diagnosed with influenza are currently hospitalized across 20 hospitals in Ulaanbaatar. For the news, stay tuned. Mongolia's foreign currency reserves have reached a historic high of $5.5 billion by the end of 2024, marking an 11.8% increase compared to the start of the year. This growth, driven by a strong financial account surplus, underscores the nation's improved economic stability and resilience in the international trade. The domestic foreign currency reserves reached $5.5 billion by the end of 2024, achieving an unprecedented historical level. This represents a growth of $590 million or approximately 11.8% compared to the beginning of 2024, marking the second consecutive year of increase. Foreign currency reserves fundamentally reflect Mongolia's balance of payments with other economies. While the current account surplus played a key role in achieving a positive balance of payments in 2023, the financial account surplus has been the main driver of the increase in foreign currency reserves for 2024. The binding material for coal briquettes will be replaced, and some households will transition to use gas as fuel. It was announced by Prime Minister Oyurten during his working visit to the Taontolga coal briquette factory. Details as follows.
Various factors, including the widespread use of coal briquettes and raw coal for heating Inger districts, emissions from aging vehicles, industrial activities, and inadequate waste management practices, cause Ulaanbaatar's air pollution. The dense concentration of GER areas in the city's geographic location in a valley exacerbates the problem by trapping polluted air, particularly during the winter months. Addressing these issues requires comprehensive measures, including transitioning to cleaner heating alternatives, improving public transportation, and enforcing stricter environmental regulations.
Coal briquettes will be produced using semi-coking technology. The Bagnor coal mine will implement this semi-coking coal technology, which will be integrated into the factory. This factory is one of 14 mega projects, and we plan to collaborate with Chinese and South Korean partners to achieve this.
He further stated that 30% of Ulaanbaatar's air pollution is caused by vehicles with its carbon dioxide emissions. To address this, the cabinet plans to implement stricter regulations within the year to support the capital city's development. Additionally, certain areas will be transformed into green zones, notably the Gandang area, Zhong'el, and Moscow areas are slated for this transformation, where the use of gas as fuel will be encouraged and welcomed as part of this initiative.
Thank you for staying with us. Now let's take a look at Mongolian current affairs. The National Center for Communicable Diseases, or NCCD, reported that the spread of influenza and influenza-like illnesses has reached outbreak levels in the capital city over the past week. The NCCD's department head Narnzol stated surveillance samples collected from individuals seeking treatment for influenza at sentinel hospitals in Bolgang, Overhanga, Oos, and Sukhbatar provinces, as well as Ulaanbaatar city, revealed that 62.2% tested positive for respiratory viruses, with 5 types of viruses causing influenza and influenza-like illnesses identified. The majority of cases involved respiratory viruses and the H1N1 strain of influenza. In contrast, SARS and coronaviruses accounted for the smallest proportion at just 1%. In the 52nd week of the year, 111,819 outpatient visits were recorded across the capital, with 13,659 cases diagnosed as influenza or influenza-like illnesses, accounting for 12.2% of all consultations. This represents a 0.2% increase compared to the previous week. Of the total reported cases, 19.1% involved infants under the age of 1, 20.2% were children aged 2 to 14, and 22.9% were children aged 10 to 15. As of today, 1,541 children are hospitalized across 20 hospitals in the capital, 87.8% of whom are being treated for respiratory infections, the NCCD noted. The 15th National Powerlifting Championships for Equipped Bench Press and the 7th Classic Bench Press Championships organized by the Mongolian Powerlifting Federation have officially commenced at the Central Sports Palace. The three-day event features 240 athletes from 23 teams competing in the youth, junior, adult, and veteran categories across 86 weight classes for a total of 258 medals. Organizers highlighted the fierce competition with 32 world championships, 11 silver medalists, and 16 bronze medalists from the world championships participating in the tournament. Among the competitors, the standout is Paralympic gold, silver, and bronze medalist, hero of labor, and honored athlete Satnam Bilche. His accolades include 3 gold and 4 silver medals at World Championships, 6 World Cup titles, and 15 gold and 4 bronze medals at previous national championships. Athletes selected from this tournament will earn the right to compete at the Bench Press World Championships to be held in Norway from May 17th to 24th. On the opening day, Irkis from the Sky Gobi Club set a new national record in the youth 66 kg category, bench pressing 122.5 kg. This was his debut at the national championships, following his silver medal at last year's Asian Championships. Additionally, in the Master 1 men's 105 kg category, Batolak broke the national record by bench pressing 185 kg. Here is the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Next, our program will turn our attention to foreign news, partnered with international news agencies. President-elect Donald Trump on Tuesday announced a $20 billion investment for data centers in the United States by an Emirate company led by billionaire Hossein Sajwani, a close business partner of the Trump family.
The investment by Damak Properties in the United Arab Emirates is intended to highlight Trump's personal ability to attract new money for big projects and follows a pledge last month by the Japanese billionaire investor Masayoshi Son while at Trump's side to invest $100 billion in the United States.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be with you. Many things are happening that are exciting, very exciting for our country. And we're honored to welcome one of the most respected business leaders in the Middle East, indeed the world. He's a founder and chairman of Damak Properties, Hossein Sajwani, a very respected gentleman. And I'm thrilled to announce today that Damak will be investing at least $20 billion over a very short period of time into the United States, and they may go double or even somewhat more than double that amount of money. It's a great thing, and I believe he will say that he's doing it because of the fact that he was very inspired by the election. They wouldn't do it without that election, I can tell you. A lot of people wouldn't. You saw last week where we have somebody who's going to go from $100 to $200 billion. And we have many other people, and we'll be bringing some of them out. Some of them like to do it somewhat more quietly, and some don't. And they feel so strongly about the country that they want to let people know about it.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Sajwani's promised investment feeds into an existing boom for constructing the data centers used in the development of artificial intelligence and expansion of cryptocurrency, as well as in other elements of an increasingly digital economy that relies on having ever greater sources of computer processing power. While Trump has sought to portray these announcements as a source of newfound energy in the U.S. economy, the $20 billion commitment is also a sign that wealthy investors close to Trump can profit from that relationship, given that there is already significant investment in new data centers. In October, the financial company Blackstone estimated that the United States would see $1 trillion invested in data centers over 5 years, with another $1 trillion being committed internationally. The commitment made by Sajwani could represent just 2% of the total expected domestic investment in the sector. What Sajwani would get at data centers in the United States, which thus far have not been part of his company's EDGNX data center portfolio. According to the company's website, it already has or plans to build data centers in the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Spain, Thailand, and Indonesia. Damak Properties is one of the top private developers in the skyscraper-studded city-state in the United Arab Emirates.
Reviews to everybody because everyone's afraid they're going to come in and get caught in.
Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen called the U.S. Denmark's most important and closest ally in response to President-elect Donald Trump's comments. He won't rule out the use of military force to seize Greenland.
Addressing Trump's commitment in an interview with Danish broadcaster TV2, Frederiksen said she didn't believe that the United States would use military or economic power to secure control over Greenland. I think it's important to keep in mind that it's good on the one hand that there is a growing interest from the American side in what is going also in the North Atlantic Ocean and in the Arctic area, because some of the tensions we see in other parts of the world are starting to come to the Arctic area. So I, as a very close ally to the United States, think there is a reason to be pleased with the growing interest from the USA. But it has to go off in a way that is respectful towards the population of Greenland, and we must cooperate in the same way we are used to, among other things, in NATO and in other international fora. Trump said earlier he wouldn't rule out the use of military force to seize control of the Panama Canal and Greenland, as he declared U.S. control of both to be vital to American national security. Speaking to reporters less than 2 weeks before he takes office on January 20th, and as a delegation of aides and advisors that includes his son Donald Trump Jr. is in Greenland, Trump left open the use of the American military to secure both territories.
Alright, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Goodbye.